Hello everyone and welcome to Mobility Academy. I'm the flexibility guy, Coach Elia. And in today's video I want to talk with you about a really frequently asked question, which is, when should I stretch? And we'll be talking about that and about the three main moments where I think you should stretch. But before I start, let me show you my two flexibility books, Shoulders Range and Split Stacking, which are the complete playbooks to master your whole body flexibility, all right? And if you're wondering, when should I stretch? I created a whole section for that, and you can check them out following the link in the description down below, all right? Now, with that said, let's start. The flexibility guy, Coach Elia. Alright guys, so let's start with this. When you create your workout plan and when you ask yourself, when should I stretch? You must start with this answer in mind. I must stretch when I can. Alright, so you don't want to create a program which you can't follow. I always suggest doing this first. You want to create something you can stick to. Alright, so you want to be consistent. Alright, and you can use three main moments to stretch. Alright, now the first moment is when you have maybe 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. So you take that hour and you create a specific flexibility routine. Alright, so you stretch specifically. Alright, so that is a specific flexibility workout, and you can use those hours you have in a week, in a month, etc. to stretch. So you create a program to follow and you take an hour and you have a stretch. All right, so this is the kind of most used moment to stretch, because in this way you know that you have an hour, you can stretch for an hour. And I don't want to talk about the workout because it depends on what you want to work out, what are your goals, what are your weaknesses, etc. But the main point here is that this is the easiest one to follow, because you know that you have an hour, all right, and you can take that hour and work on your flexibility. All right, so this, of course, we all know that. But let's talk about the second point. All right, the second point is the warm-up. All right, a lot of people just warm up themselves, but in a way that is too shallow for me. All right, which means that they just warm up their body. Maybe they run a little bit, they move their arms, they move their body a little bit, they just increase their body temperature, but they don't work on specific goals. But the warm-up is an essential part of a workout. You don't only prepare your body for your workout, but you can also work on other kind of goals. So what I suggest people do here is this. You want to create a warm-up routine as well. So you don't want to prepare for your workouts randomly. All right, so you do want to have a plan for your workouts. That's really important, of course, but you do want to have a plan also for your warm-ups. All right, so in your warm-ups, start putting some flexibility exercises. Now, the main kind of key point here is that you want to put in the warm-up flexibility exercises which are dynamic. All right, so you don't want to stay in this stretch for too long, since maybe like it depends on your workout. So maybe you've been training, I don't know, hamstrings, calisthenics, gymnastics, other sports, weightlifting, powerlifting, you're going to the gym, you're having a workout for your chest, for your arm, for your shoulders, for your legs. It depends for whatever kind of discipline you want to do. If you have a performance right after the warm-up, which means that you'll be using your muscles in some way, all right, to lift a weight, to move something, to hit a ball or whatever. If you'll be using your muscles, you want to warm up with dynamic exercises, not passive stretches, because if you warm up with dynamic exercises, you have two main advantages. You warm up your muscles, so you move your muscles in some kind of way, and you also stretch them, all right? But in a way which is not passive, it's more dynamic, all right? And in this way, you're moving your muscles, you're preparing them for the workout, and you're also working on your flexibility. All right, so two advantages here. the warm-up effect, so you're ready for the workout, and the stretch effect, you're working on your flexibility. And that's why it's so important to put flexibility exercise in your warm-up. So take, for example, I always suggest taking 15 to 20 minutes, for example. 15 to 20 minutes, you want to spend 15 minutes, 10 minutes of that routine, almost the 80-90% of the routine, working on your dynamic flexibility. You can put a lot of exercises. Of course, it depends on the body part you want to stretch and on the body part you want to warm up. If you want to do a whole body warm-up routine, then you can start with the legs, but you have to have an idea in mind, which is this: you want to work on your full range of motion. For example, if you want to use some squats to warm yourself up and to warm your legs, to warm up your legs, you do want to go with a full range of motion, which means that you want to squat down deeply as much as you can. You want to remain in the stretch, maybe a couple of seconds, and then you want to come back up. So this is the main idea of the dynamic stretches you want to use in the warm-up routine. These are not exercises you want to do for I don't know, to warm up or to move fast throughout the positions, but you want to move slowly, you want to control the exercise, and especially you want to feel the stretch. These are all the exercises, these must be exercises where you go into the stretch and you feel the stretch, all right? So, for example, you don't wanna warm up your arms by using some kind of bicep curls, because in this kind of movement here, there's no stretch, there's no real stretch. So you do want to work on exercises where there's a stretch effect. For example, the squats. The squat is an excellent exercise because as you go down, as you squat deeply into the position, you go in a position where you stretch your muscles. The same goes for the Cossack squats or for the split squats. In all these exercises, as you go into the position, you experience a stretch. You go into a stretch position, and that's the key idea of the stretch, all right, of the exercise. The same goes for your shoulders, for your upper body. You can use dynamic stretching exercises to warm up your shoulders and to stretch them. For example, you can use some pullovers on a bench with a dumbbell or with a weight to open your shoulders, to work on their flexibility and on their of course, on their strength, not on their strength, but on the ability to warm up and to warm them up, all right? So you can warm up your shoulders and you can stretch them at the same time. And you can also use, for example, shoulder rotations with a stick. In this way, you're warming up your entire shoulder joint and you're also working on the shoulder flexibility. So as you can see, there are very useful exercises you can use during your warm-up to stretch and to warm up the area and your joint in a very, very useful way. So the second point you want to use is the warm-up, all right? So you can use specific flexibility routines, and that's excellent, but you can also use the time you have in your warm-up to really work on your flexibility, and that's the second point. All right, let's go straight to point number 3. And point number 3 really depends on your discipline. And so it really depends. So if you're doing a discipline where you're taking some kind of rest between your sets, for example, you go to the gym, you perform a particular exercise, and you have, for example, 4 sets. And in between the sets, you rest. All right. Same goes for a lot of disciplines: calisthenics, gymnastics, hand balancing. A lot of disciplines where between the sets you have to rest, powerlifting, weightlifting. So you lift a weight or you move your body in a certain way and you do a set of that, and you have to do more sets. So in between the sets you typically rest, all right? But now you want to take that time and you want to stretch in that window of time. This, guys, is a secret, because in this way, for example, if you have to do 4 sets and you want to rest 2 minutes, for example, rather than staying like this on a chair, just like, you know, talking with yourself, you can use the time to stretch. Maybe not the whole rest period, all right? So maybe not the whole 2 minutes, but you can use, for example, 1 minute to stretch a specific part of your body. Now, guys, This has advantages, but also you must be careful using this methodology, because let's assume you are walking on your legs. So you are lifting a weight with your legs. In between the sets, you don't want to stretch your legs, because you are performing that moment. You are using your legs for something important. You want to lift a weight or something. So you can't stretch your legs in between the sets. Rather, you want to stretch your upper body maybe. So for example, let's assume you're doing some squats, all right, with a weight. And you're doing your squats, and in between the sets, you want to rest 2 minutes. In the 2 minutes, you want to cut a minute. And in that minute, maybe you want to stretch your shoulders with a specific exercise or something. So it depends on your weaknesses, on what you want to work on. Maybe you want to stretch your lats, maybe you want to stretch your front delts, maybe you want to stretch your pecs. It depends. But you can use an upper body flexibility exercise in between the sets you have for your legs. Now the same goes for the upper body. Let's assume you're lifting a weight, you're doing a bench press, all right? And in between the sets, you want to stretch your legs, because why not? I mean, you're resting 2 minutes rather than like sitting down, just talking with yourself. You can take the time just to stretch, all right? So for example, you have 2 minutes of rest. 1 minute you stretch. You go on the wall, for example, you can use the wall quad stretch. If you don't know that, you can check it out on my YouTube channel right here. You can go on the wall, you can have a stretch on your quads. 1 leg per time. You have 4 sets. You do two sets on your left, 2 sets on your right. That's good, all right? So can you see how this point number 3, so stretching in between the sets, has tremendous advantages? Because you can save time. First of all, you can save time. And this way, your workouts will be full of exercise, not only for your performances. So maybe you're trying to improve your strength, or to master a specific movement, or to, I don't know, to whatever. You're trying to master a skill, or to master a specific movement you're working on, or you're lifting more weight, or you're pumping your muscles. It depends. But in between the sets, you want to take that amount of time, which is a lot. For example, let's assume you want to do 3 exercises, and for each exercise you want to do 4 sets. That's 12 sets, all right? So if you take a minute for every set, all right, it means that 12 minutes will be spent on flexibility training. And these are 12 minutes you would have used just to sit down and to, I don't know, talk with yourself. So can you see how this kind of methodology allows you to save tons and tons of time, and you can work also on your flexibility. So that's amazing, you know? So guys, you have 3 main moments you can use to work on your flexibility. So stop saying, I don't have time for flexibility, because you do have time, but you don't know where to put them, all right? So if you have the time, start with point number 1, all right? So if you have the time, start with specific flexibility routines. For example, you have a couple of hours per week, 1 hour one day, 1 hour another day. You do your specific flexibility routine, all right? Then, if you're working also at the gym, or if you are taking classes, or if you are doing something, another kind of activity, rather than warming up shallowly, so on something that like doesn't bring you value, create a warm-up routine you can follow to work on your warm-up, or of course, and on your flexibility as well. All right, so point number 2, warm-up. Then point number 3, if your discipline allows you to do this, take the time to stretch in between the sets. So if you're doing a discipline where you are supposed to do some kind of sets and reps, all right, take the time you rest and convert it into time you spend stretching. you spend in flexibility training. All right, this allows you to save time and to work on your flexibility like crazy. So point number 3, stretch during your workouts, in between the sets. All right, guys, so as you can see, you have a lot of time to work on your flexibility, and I've just given you 3 main moments you can use: specific routines, warm-up or post-workout, and in between the sets. You can use all the 3 moments. Of course, I use all the 3 moments. I do specific flexibility workouts, I work on my flexibility during my warm-ups, and I work on my flexibility in between my sets. That's okay. But if you, for example, are really short on time and you're wondering, when should I stretch? Well, use these 3 moments and understand how can you take all this information, bring it into your daily life, and create something that you can follow. This is the most important thing, guys. There's nothing you can do, but you want to make sure that as you take something, you can follow it. All right, so create something you can follow. Start with a little walk, make sure you can stick to that, make sure you can follow, and with time, maybe if you can stick to it, if you can follow it, increase the amount of time you spend on your flexibility training. But you have 3 main moments you can use. All right, but now, guys, if you have any questions, I know this is a really important topic and you may have a lot of questions, a lot of doubts, and I'm here for you to listen to your questions and doubts in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit that like button and help me grow this YouTube channel. It means a lot to me, guys. All right, so with that said, that's all from the flexibility guy, Coach Elia, for this video. Talk to you soon.